1958, doctors went looking through the entire nation of Japan, autopsy by autopsy, for one disease, prostate cancer. In a country of about 90 million people, how many deaths did they find? An astounding just 18 people died from prostate cancer. That same year, the United States, with about twice the population of Japan, was losing men to it by the thousands. So here's a question that should keep your cardiologist up at night. What if the diseases we treat as inevitable, irreversible, like heart disease, the cancer that fills our hospitals, are not inevitable at all? What if for whole nations still alive today, they barely would exist? Now stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know the 7 cultures that almost never get heart disease or cancers, exactly what they eat, and one change you can make this week to join them. I'm Dr. Kevin Ham. A year ago, I had a scan that showed my arteries were blocked severely. And 3 months later, after changing my diet from a high-fat diet to a low-fat, whole food, plant-based diet, I changed the way I moved and the intensity and the dose, and I started fasting. And the plaque in my carotid arteries, gone. Reversed in just 3 months. So I went hunting for proof this was not a fluke, and I found it in the most unlikely places on earth. It's a Cleveland Clinic surgeon named Caldwell Esselstyn. He postulated and noticed that 3/4 of the people on the planet had almost no breast cancer and no heart disease. And the same people barely got the breast cancer that he was operating on a daily basis because he was a breast cancer surgeon at that time in 1986. The common thread was not their genes, it was their food. Now, every time someone says a population is healthy, the skeptics say the same thing. They just died of something else before the disease could show up. So that's fair enough. So here's the evidence that ends that argument. In Uganda, pathologists opened up 182 bodies, one after another, and looked straight at their hearts. The number of heart attacks they found was 0. You cannot miss a heart attack or clogged arteries if you're holding the heart in your hands and seeing the blood vessels. In rural China, heart disease killed American men at almost 17 times the local rate. In the highlands of New Guinea, a people living almost on nothing but sweet potato had no diabetes, no high blood pressure, and essentially no heart disease into old age. So this isn't a theory, it's shown at the autopsy table and the statistics. And here's the part that seals it. The moment any of these groups moved to a city, started eating the Western diet, the heart attacks, the cancers showed up right on schedule. There's the same people with the new diet, and they got modern day metabolic heart disease and cancers. So who are these 7 traditional nations and their diets? There's 7 witnesses. Tara Humera indigenous of Mexico, who run 100 miles on corn and beans, rural China, the highlanders of New Guinea, the traditional people of Central Africa, and the Okinawans of Japan, who have more 100-year-olds than anywhere on earth, or they did. The Catawans of the Pacific and the coconut-eating islanders of Tokelau. 7 cultures, 3 continents, completely different foods, but line them up and the pattern is almost boring. Mostly plants, very little added fat, almost no processed food, no refined sugars, no oil. They were lean, they moved all day, and their cholesterol sat far below the number your lab calls normal. Think about how strange that is. A Mexican farmer on corn tortillas, a Japanese grandmother on sweet potato, an African villager on millet and greens. They never met, they never compared notes, and their arteries all ended up clean. Here's where most health videos get it wrong. 2 of these groups, the Catawans and the islands of Tokelau, ate a mountain of saturated fat, but from coconuts. Their cholesterol was sky high, and they did not get heart disease. How? Because they stayed lean, kept their blood pressure low, and never touched the processed foods that actually inflames your arteries or those lipids, the cholesterol. So cholesterol is one lever, but it's not the only one. Now I need you to do something for me. Pause this video for 10 seconds to answer one question in the comments. Yes or no? Do you think the biggest driver of heart disease and cancer is the fat we eat or the animal protein? Lock in your answer right now. So comment fat or protein. Remember, Esselstyn was a cancer surgeon, a breast cancer surgeon, before he was a heart doctor, and he could not unsee this. The cultures with almost no heart disease also had almost no breast cancer, no prostate cancer, no colon cancer. And when families from these countries moved to America and started eating like Americans, their cancer rates climbed within a generation or two. Same genes, different plate, totally different outcomes. The tumor is never written in their DNA. It was waiting on a Western diet. Esselstyn watched the American breast cancer rate climb from 1 woman in 20 to 1 in 9 inside his own career. The genes of American women did not change in 30 years. The plate did. So fat or protein, the answer? Here's the study. At Cornell, Dr. T. Colin Campbell gave rats a cancer-causing toxin, then changed only one thing, their protein. On a diet high in casein, the protein in milk, the rats grew tumors. Dropped the animal protein low back to 5% and the cancer almost stopped. He could switch it on and off like a light. 5%, no cancer. 20% cancer. And plant protein, soy, and wheat did not feed the tumors at all. Only the animal proteins. Then the Cleveland Clinic found the heart side. When you eat meat, your gut bacteria turn part of it into a compound called trimethylamine oxide, TMAO, that drives plaque into your arteries. Red meat and white meat raised it. Plant protein did not. The amount of saturated fat made no difference at all. So if you commented protein, the science is leaning that way. Every one of these 7 cultures ate low fat, low animal protein at the same time. You cannot fully separate them. There's only that one exception that I'll point out later. The Western plate stacks fat, animal protein, and refined carbs all at once. The fix is to take all 3 down together. So what does this actually look like on your plate? Build your meals around whole foods, beans, greens, whole grains, potatoes, fruit. Keep the added oil, the processed food out, the refined sugars, the heated oils. Get your cholesterol under 150 and your LDL well below it, because the lower it goes, the faster plaque clears. Stay lean and move every single day. That's the whole protocol. It's so simple. It's called living, and it's not a theory for me. I ride 5,000 kilometers a year on my bike. I fast on a daily, weekly, and monthly schedule. Watch my own carotid plaque disappear in 3 months. Your artery is listening and answers in months, not decades. So pick one thing tonight: the oil you fry in, the cheese, the processed meat. Take it off the plate and put a plant in its place. That's the first domino. Dr. Esselstyn, he had a family history of early heart attacks, and so he switched his diet 40 years ago. He's now 92 years old and healthy and active. You can still see him talking and preaching this gospel of heart health and whole food plant-based diet and low fat. So 3 quick things before you leave. First, tell me in the comments, what is the one food you're going to put down this week? I'd like to know. I read these comments daily, and I'll reply in many cases. Second, if this helped you, subscribe. Heart disease is the #1 killer of men and women on the planet, and this channel exists to change that.
These videos save lives. Tag me, like, subscribe, and ask your questions below. Click one of these videos and share it with someone you love. Together, we will save lives. For my up-to-date learnings and more, visit me at ham.com.